So here we're back talking about the tank game, and we're talking about the if you're going to add a couple more pickups to the game so that you could create your own secondary weapons or things like that. I have a few I want to try today. One is the nuke enhancement, where if you touch it, everything explodes. I'm not sure why, but it's a nuke, right? And then the other one is I like landmines, so you can drop mines around on the floor so that if the other tank would hit the landmine, it would blow up. But today all I'm doing is just talking about how do you deal with the sprites, because we have some problems here. First of all, we have our sprite pickup, and we have 4 frames. So we have the rockets, we have the bouncing bombs, we have the shields, and the tank repair one. We need to add 2 more to that one. And then weapon is similar. This is the little icon down at the bottom underneath your tank as you're driving around, tells you which weapon you have. Same order, we have the rocket, the bouncing bomb, the shield. The tank pickup isn't a weapon, so it doesn't have a picture. Okay? But we need to add 2 more pictures for the additional pickups that we're doing, if they're weapons at least. Okay, so I want to go through that process and how to go about doing this. This takes a little bit of doing, actually. The way I did it to start with is I went out just on the internet and tried to find a symbol that would represent what I'm trying to do. Here's the symbols that I'm hoping to use. Let me go find one. Okay, so here's one I found. For landmines, this is what they usually put on the sign to say don't walk here because there's mines there. And we're going to have to make different versions of that. And then the other symbol I'm using is the nuclear symbol. Okay, it's circular. And I figure with the nuke you only get one shot instead of 10. So I've got these 2 images to work with. And now the question is, well, how do I get these into the actual game? So let's look at that. We'll start with the pickup, and we'll edit the sprite. Okay, so here we have the 4 sprites. We're going to add one from a file. So we go to Add from File, and I'm going to go out to my location where I have these. Now these won't be in your resource folder. You're going to have to create these yourself, and that's kind of what we're doing. Here, game design, and I want to see the pictures, and I'm looking at this big one. That's pretty huge, okay? So I'm opening that up. It says keep original size and place at left top. Let's change the size, because right now it's really way too big. These images need to be, I think, 32 by 32. So that didn't really work, see, because my image is way too large. Okay. So that isn't going to work out because our picture is too big. So we're going to have to scale down this picture. So what I like to do is I'm going to create a new sprite, and then I'll use the sprite editor in Game Maker to actually resize that first picture. So here's going to be sprite mine. We won't actually use this sprite directly in the game, but we're going to use it as a way of scaling down the big picture that we need. We're going to load up that sprite, and it's monstrous. That's the one. It's 224 by 225, way too big. Okay. But now we go into Edit Sprite, and what we want to do is squish this down to the size that we need. So we're going to say Transform, and then we're going to say Stretch. I know that we're not really stretching it, we're squishing it, but that's the one you need to use. And then we can resize it to the size we need, 32 by 32. Okay. Now it's the same size as the other ones. Okay, and I'm going to save that to my folder. which is, let's see, and I'm going to call it mines small .png. Okay. So not only do we have it in the game, but we also have it in a place now that we can go grab it when we need to add it to the end of the sprite. We'll need to do the same thing with the other sprite, which is my nuke sprite. So again, I'm going to create sprite. So there's my nuke. I'm going to load up that sprite. Here's my nuke symbol, and it's way too big as well. So we need to scale it down. So we say edit sprite. Same thing, we say stretch. And this time we go down to 32. We also want to save this, and we'll call it sprite nuke small. Okay, so now I have that sprite saved out to disk. So now we're ready to add these new sprites to the list on the pickups. So here's our pickup again. We're going to go inside and edit it. Here we'll say add from file. And here's our small one for our mine fields or our mines. Do we say remove background? I would say no. Say open. So now we have our new sprite there ready to use. And then we'll add one more, 32 by 32. And now we have all the pickups listed in our pickup sprite. So that's the first set of sprites that we had to deal with. Next, we need to also add sprites to our weapon. And so just like before, we have to go in and make an even smaller version of these two new sprites. So I'm going to go back to the mine sprite. I'm going to edit it. And here I want to stretch it even down further. So instead of 32, I'm going to go 16 by 16. Gets even smaller. And we'll save it out here. Say save. Now we have a really tiny one. And then finally on the weapon, no, on the nuke, same thing. We're going to edit the sprite. We're going to stretch. We're going to drop this down to 16. We'll save it. It's this one. Okay, there's our little nuke symbol. And now we're ready to add this to our weapon sprite. So here's weapons. Now weapons are a little bit weird because there's only 3 images, because the tank fix-it one isn't a weapon, so you don't need to have a picture here for the weapon. But we do need the other 2. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set the length to 4. 4th one's going to be blank though. So I'm going to go in and edit that. All I'm doing is just erasing it. So So it just has the transparent color behind it. I'm just making a blank spot. There's probably an easier way to do this, but okay, now it's blank. I'll save that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we need the 2 new ones. So again, we go to Add from File. We'll do our small one here. And then again, Add from File. And this time it's the nuke we're putting in. These have to be in the same order as the ones on the pickup, or otherwise things get messed up. So now I have my pictures ready, but now I have to implement the different pickups so that it works. Now remember, in the create event for the pickup, if we go there, first thing it does is it randomizes the location and the type of pickup right at the start of the game. Here we have this choose between 0, 1, 2, or 3. We're going to need to add 2 more. I'm not even sure if this function exists, but we're going to add 4 and 5. I'm curious to see if this will actually function. Same rules though. I'm going to jump to a new position, so that doesn't change. When the alarm goes off, we do the same setup, so we're going to have to add the other 2. So we're going to say choose, comma 4, comma 5. That may not be correct, but we'll try it. All right, so let's try this and see if our pickups at least get generated properly. Okay, so do we have our new pickup? Yeah, there's our nuke. And it looks like we have to have a transparent color behind it. So, oh, there's our mines, okay? So you see the boxes around them? That looks pretty ugly. So let's go fix that. I suppose that works. We'll have to see. And then we'll do the same thing here with the nuke. The nuke is easier because we can say erase a color. And we're going to erase white. That looks right. So that way we won't have the box around it. We suppose we need to do the same thing for the weapon pickup. So again, edit sprite. This is even going to be more squished. This is really tiny. So again, transform or image, erase a color. Yeah. Okay, what's the better way? Yeah, because I know there is one, I just couldn't remember. So oh, the little wand thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Oh, okay.
And if you then select an area, select, like if you select the white outside.
Oh, I see. That's
then
nice.
you can hit delete and it will just
Okay, that's cool. Oh, that is very handy. Look at that. Thank you, Victor. That looks good. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's very nice. Thank you. So we'll save that. And then the same thing with this one. We'll zoom in on it. Use our magic wand. So you select it and then hit enter. Maybe not perfect, but I'll go back and fix those myself later. But that's basically the idea. So let's try it again and see if we see better results. Okay, so wait for one of the new pickups to appear. Not yet. Here's one. That looks okay. There's one. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now if I'm going to go pick one of these up, the question is, will the right image appear here? My tanks don't move very far, so I've just picked up the weapon, and you can see here that I got my little image there, and I have 10 mines I can drop. Now you still need to be able to, or still need to create a sprite for the mine itself. You know, you might want to decide whether you can blow yourself up with your own mines, or can you drive over them and not be affected. So you can choose that if you were doing this enhancement. So I think that's it. We have the weapons being generated. We have the pickups being randomly selected. Now all that's left to do is to put in the smarts on how do you use these new weapons inside your game. This discussion was about getting the sprites all squared away and working so that you can do the next step. All right.